Karl Dawson, alcoholic. Has to be done. I work for Quibu in Staymark as a front-end developer, and today I'm going to do a talk on BEM CSS. I'm using the Quo as a means to, as an example. I'm going to sit down because I'll be typing on a bit. Hopefully this will be nice. Rising from the flames. First time using a keynote, I had to use that since I discovered it. And there's a spit over the years.
I did invent a keynote, unfortunately. Yeah. Max, you invented a keynote, and you're here representing Apple.
Yeah, sorry.
Is there not a way of telling it to scale?
What's inside it?
I don't know.
Disconnect the external display.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So anyway, BEM. Does anybody use this already? Have they heard of BEM? Block element modifier. It's a thing. If you've not even heard of BEM, then you definitely haven't heard of Yandex, who are the creators of it. Apparently, they're Russia's largest search engine provider. They learn a new thing every day. So they came up with this as a way to, kind of like an object-oriented approach to CSS. We try to sort of get away from the nested CSS that we love to maintain. So the three main concepts is the block. They'll be better on the slides when you get to the end. Block is an independent entity, a building block of an application. It can either be simple, so it's just the block, or it's compound, where it contains other blocks. So an example would be a search form, so that's a simple one. A more complex block would be maybe the page header that's within. So you can do your nesting. Then you have the element, which is part of that block which performs a certain function, and it's always sort of context dependent. And it only makes sense when it's within that block. So an example of that would be an input field and a button as part of that search block. Okay, it won't do anything else if it's not within that block. Then we have modifiers, which you might need, say, that search form somewhere else on another part of the page, and maybe in the sidebar or in the footer, I don't know. You might want that, say, just have a different background or do something different. So you then use a modifier class just to alter its appearance or behaviour. Okay, so as I said, a different background colour. All of this comes down to you have to adopt a structured class name. One of the resources on the last slide is bem.info itself. And you can have a look through there, and they're really quite abstract with their class names, and it doesn't really click. And they use camel case as well, which doesn't really sit well with me, as I kind of always sort of had that semantic upbringing with HTML and CSS. I'm trying to name the thing a bit more descriptive. So I've come up with my own. A guy called Nicholas Gallagher, if you follow blogs and stuff, he sort of comes from the same kind of background as me, I think, the same approach. So I've sort of led heavily on how he actually writes his class names. But at the end of the day, you just need to be consistent with it, and then that consistency is what enables you as a CSS developer to communicate with the back-end developers who create all the magic. Okay, so that's the structure you're looking at. So block is just a standard CSS class. If it's an element, we use 2 underscores to separate the block name from the element name, and then 2 dashes to signify a modifier when you're applying that to the block. Okay, let me just switch out. Okay. So I've actually prepared a whole bunch of this. I'm going to pretend and code it by hand.
You might just make it a little small.
I can do that on here, can't I?
No,
It's
it's the
done-
window,
It's the
window,
window,
it's
I'll
from
just make it so it's not full screen in the browser again.
on top of the second square.
I'm new to Mac, so don't ask me to do anything complicated.
It's built with Dumbledore at the same.
Let me just turn it the hard way. Oh, right, glad that done that one. Ah, this is really tricky. Okay, that'll just be a next one. So. Okay, so the first exercise. Yeah, this is really annoying, isn't it? I need to set this. I need to set Sublime to use the less.
On right here.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it?
Oh, full screen.
This is what's happened to me whenever I try and use Mac as well.
How do you get anything done?
I think it's picked up the wrong display standards. If you unplug the external display, so if you unplug the external display and plug it back in, you might.
It gets easier, Carl, don't worry.
It's to fight through pain.
I've got video camera.
It's a bit like a hangover. You just get the hang of it in the end, and you kind of just learn to shrug it off.
When does that happen?
Okay, let's just go straight to the full
Ah, that's
example.
perfect.
Yeah, but that's what I've done earlier. It's going to type it all out for me. So the idea is that we can get the quo. Let's get the quo up. Okay, so I wanted to use the quo just as an example of to build up these components. So basically you're describing a thing with HTML first and then putting the appropriate class names on. And wherever I put that section, whether it's a sidebar or footer or whatever, it'll have its look, it has its needs met, independent of whereabouts it is on the page. And then if I needed to behave different in the sidebar as opposed to the main content or footer, then you can use a modifier just to toggle that. It keeps your markup and CSS a bit cleaner. And it also helps you describe the component from a front end point of view to the developers. You may not understand or have seen the Illustrator files and understand how this whole thing is put together. So the first thing I've done is create a section for the band member. And I've decided that the information that we need to have for them is their name, their age and their instrument. So you can see we used an H1 with a class of band member with the 2 underscores named, which is the element. That's the element pattern. The age, again, with the underscore age, and then instrument as well. And you'll know that the way that that's written, that the elements are to do with the band member because you've had that pre-rendered. Now, the Yandex and the true sort of BEM has really kind of abstract all that away, and it doesn't make it readable, so that everybody has to kind of understand what all of the terms are. But with this one, this way, it's just a little bit more descriptive. You don't understand. So on the next one down, I've defined a guitar. And this particular guitar, I've put a modifier on it of lead guitar. So now I'm saying that this one is a guitar, but it's also a lead guitar. So maybe I want to change the background colour to black because it's a lead guitar. Or do something different with it. Programmatically make it spin around in circles and do it or something, whatever. But that's the hook that enables you to do something different with it. So again, the elements there is guitar make, body, neck, strings. And then eventually, in this section here, I can combine them both together. So before there was no real, they'd all work independently of each other. Put some scroll on. Okay, so a band member has a guitar, which is another kind of sort of declarative way of saying that. So you can treat sort of simple states with CSS, and you apply the, you apply your styling hooks to that, or it might be that that enables you through jQuery or whatever to then do something with that CSS structure. So, because I've done my research, I didn't know this, so I didn't have to go look it up. Francis Rossi is the oldest and he is the singer. So we're just putting those class names in ahead of what I know that I'm going to be doing with the information. Okay. So, and we know that the band member, he has a guitar, so I've nested that section within the band member section. So if I show, so I didn't fill out any of the CSS properties, that's not the sort of point of the exercise really. But you can see that there's no nesting going on. You can avoid all of that by having this class-based structure with the elements. And because they're uniquely named to the block that they're to do with, then there's none of this cascade and getting nuts with the depth of the CSS. I think from performance issues, you don't really want to go deeper than three levels down, and this definitely sort of stops a lot of that. I've just indented it just so you can see a bit more clearly however you structure your CSS files. It's down to you really. And then any modifications you again start up group, you haven't got to nest any of this. So that one there, it starts at its own level, it doesn't have to be nested within other CSS classes. And this is the latest file, so you can nest CSS. With BEM, there's no need to. And then a couple of those is as guitar is oldest, is singer. So you can put in some sort of selectors there to sort of, in case you want to do something, from the logic point of view. Guitar, same idea. So you've got guitar lead, bass, and rhythm, and then you can just append that onto the section for guitars. Because essentially they're all the same thing, it's just different versions. I was going to sort of write this out. It made sense to say it as I was doing it. Okay, so this it's split out. So we start with the band members. Obviously everything starts with HTML, and then take it up to the oops. And I can obviously do this guitar, so we can nest that guitar object as such within that component, and then the band member. So there's some resources, just about fits Function Magazine. I think that was an article from just last week actually. And that's a really good tool to sort of communicate your CSS and the design back to the developers. And once they sort of start to recognise it, then they can build, if they need another one of those, they can do that with some confidence because they know what the pattern is, and they know what the HTML is. One of the things I do at work is switch back. is I use that sort of markup, which is, gosh, what's it called? Zen code. I think it's changed its name to Emma code. Basically, it's like a super shorthand that I put that in the comments block above the CSS. So if you want that pattern straight onto your HTML, you just copy and paste that, hit tab, and then boom, you get a massive, you get it rendered out. So if I just grab a little bit, what I can see, just take it to there. Okay, so it's super shorthand. I hit that, awesome. Using that as HTML page. There we go. So you get that straight away. So I can do that, and then developers, they just need to go to the CSS file, grab that snippet, hit tab, and boom, they've got it. It's especially useful for some of the complex stuff, like icons and that. You do your icons using fonts. And depending on whether you want that to show to a screen reader or not, there's 2 different implementations. And whether or not you can remember it, well, there's no need to. You just go to the file, get the snippet, hit tab, and boom, you get your 2 different icon styles. Okay, I think that's it, because there's a bit of frame change at the end. I just wanted to use that image and then I just placed a talk around it. Right, thank you very much. Any questions?
I was going to say, do you have to always use a class? Is it kind of part of the rules that everything ends up with a class? So I noticed you had headings in there, and I might often have all my headings of the same style.
You can do. Depends, obviously, semantics is not necessarily the size of the thing you want to add. So you can start off with, if you know your H1 is going to be 18 pixels in font size, then go with that as basically just as HTML elements in the style sheet. Typically, I would like to I'll add a class to that as a page title or a section title, just to help sort of break that out in case I do need to override it. Otherwise, you just end up getting in a mess. It's kind of like, it's a bit of redundancy almost sometimes, and then I make a point of using it, so it's not an empty selector when it comes to deploying. But, yeah. So you can have some smart defaults, and then you have to have a class to just help you override it through the project. Especially with the headings. Yeah. But I don't use them. It's not like every element or HTML tag has a CSS class. That's probably going a bit OTT. But with some of these patterns, you can get that way, which is it's fine. It's like everything. It depends. It's just using common sense really. What works for you. It took me a little while. The first time I looked at BEM, I was like, I don't understand. These programs that come along and took away something I know quite well and made it into something completely different. I was like, what am I doing? So for a while I left it alone. And it probably wasn't until Christmas time I sort of started to use this sort of version of it. Any other questions? Who feels like trying on their next project? Rather than have the ULLIA span. It definitely makes your CSS, the architecture, a hell of a lot simpler. And with less as well, SAS. We use less at work because of historical reasons. I think everybody there knew. I joined in November from a SAS background. But they're both the same. There's some similarities. Definitely you want to be using less. MS or SAS for the project. That just makes it sort of a bit redundant, really. And it's just all the cross-browser stuff. Remains the challenge.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
What's the name of the other one that's not Rossi?
Huh?
What's the other one called?
I have no idea.
You know?
Everybody knows. Nick.
Rick Carter.
Who?
I thought it was a quick question. Trick question.
Told you I wasn't a fan. Okay, is that it then? Marvellous. Thank you very much for putting up with me weird slides.